Dave, when did the injury with Clayton come about?
It was his a workout on Tuesday. Um, his back stiffened up and got treatment on it that night, felt better. Yesterday came in, felt a little bit better. And then this morning, just with the training staff, just to make sure we err on the side of caution, didn't feel that it was prudent to start him. So we let Dustin May know yesterday that this was a possibility. And so this is the way it's played out.
Do you believe that this is going to be something that lingers for a while?
No, I don't know. I don't know the timeline. I mean, obviously only time will tell. And we all know Clayton and the training staff are going to do everything they can to get him back as soon as possible. So we really don't know the timeline.
Do you know at what point it started to stiffen up? Was it on a pitch? Was it just him doing something else?
In the weight room. In the weight room.
Okay.
But I don't know what exercise.
Does this change who catches tonight?
No. Austin will catch tonight.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question is from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Dave, what makes Dustin May right for this opportunity?
I think obviously kind of where he's been built up to, it went along with him being able to pitch today. He was going to throw a simulated game yesterday. We put that off for obvious reasons. And also he's just very unflappable. He's a very confident young man. He's got obviously really good stuff. So something when a change of plans happens, Dustin adjusts very well.
Is this type of news, regardless of what you've experienced in a managerial career, jarring in the sense that your ace is on the IL unexpectedly for opening day?
I think I wouldn't say jarring. I think the disappointment for me is for Clayton because he's as prepared a player as I've ever been around. And starting in opening day means a lot to him. So for him to not get to experience it for the ninth time, I think, I just feel for him.
As far as your 30-man opening day roster is concerned, some young guys getting an opportunity, Edwin Rios, Matt Beatty making it for the first time in their career. Gore is on there as well as Brusdar Gratterall. Can you just speak to those four in particular making it?
Well, we haven't seen Terrence much, but he was a late arrival to camp. But for him to be there as a specialist off the bench, I think is fantastic. Eddie and Matt are the best of friends. Their wives, I think, are really good friends. So for them to have experienced their first opening day together, I think is tremendous. And who else? Oh, Brusdar. Brusdar, gosh, he's a lot of fun. And he's earned it. He really has earned it. And, regardless of what happens throughout the year, that first opening day breaking camp with the ball club is something they'll always remember.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Next question is from Bill Plaschke. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Doc, as opening days go, how weird is this?
I would say different. It's certainly different, getting into the ballpark and not having to wait and sift through traffic. I haven't been on the field yet, but I assume there's going to be more cardboard cutouts. It's different. It's different, but at least we had the opportunity to play some games at home, albeit some inter-squad games and a few exhibitions to at least make it a little bit more normal. But yeah, just seeing fans here in person, here in the chatter, it's different. And but we're going to still go out there and try to win a baseball game.
Thank you.
Next question is from Dylan Hernandez. Go ahead, Dylan.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dylan.
Just kind of listening to Friedman talk about Mookie Betts yesterday and having listened to you talk about Mookie, sounds like a lot of the things that could be said about Mookie were also, could also be said about Kershaw in terms of, kind of their work ethic, the example they set for others. Maybe they're not like the rah-rah type leaders, but, they're kind of more the lead by example type guys. And I was just kind of wondering, when you have your leaders have that type of personality, how does that kind of manifest itself in terms of the team's culture that you're trying to build and, in the way it affects the other players as well?
Yeah, I mean, it just raises the bar. And I think for me, obviously I came into a situation 5 years ago with a talented ball club. But when you have Clayton at the center and his his work ethic, it makes his teammates have to try to emulate and rise to that bar. And we've also obviously filtered in some other guys like that. But adding Mookie, who is of the same mind, character, and person as Clayton, certainly enhances that. And now as you look out, we always talk, Dylan, about not only having the best players, but the right players that we want to be Dodgers, because it means a lot. And so now when you're building an organization around those couple guys, the bar, again, is high for people that are here. Once they do get here, they understand quickly what these players are about, what this organization is about.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead, Jorge.
Hey, Dave, just back to Clayton. I know it might be early, but how long do you expect him to be out for?
I don't know. I don't know the timetable, and I don't think it'd be too responsible to try to take a stab. I just hope that every day he gets better and better, and we can get him on the mound as soon as possible.
And with that, just given how short this season is it going to be difficult to balance making sure he's healthy in the long term and not taking too big of a risk, but realizing that every game matters 2.5 times more than usual and needing him?
I don't think so. Obviously, we understand that, but granted, other seasons have been longer, but we're just not going to compromise any player's long-term or short-term health. So once he's healthy, ready to pitch, he'll pitch for us.
And then just Walker, did he throw yesterday like he was scheduled to?
He did. He went 4 innings yesterday, 4 up and down, so he'll be ready to go on Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
You got it.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Dave, obviously Clayton has a history with the back. Anything about this similar, different? Does it recall to mind those problems that he seemed to have grown out of?
I just know it was stiffness. How similar it was to the last couple, I really can't speak to that. I know that after some treatment over the last couple of days, he's felt some improvement. So that's obviously a good thing. And outside of that, Bill, that's kind of all I got on that.
All right. I'll take note of your T-shirt again. A number of players around the league have taken a knee during national anthems at the exhibition games. Do you anticipate any of your players doing that tonight? And have you had conversations about that?
So Major League Baseball is doing a great ceremony prior to the anthem with the Players Alliance, a group of African-American players, CC, McCutcheon, some other guys that are kind of a part of this, Edwin Jackson, Cameron Maben. And so the commissioner has given these guys carte blanche essentially to kind of put together a video that we will all watch. There's going to be a ribbon, down the first and third base line that everyone's going to be social distance, but the plan is for us to hold it in unity to support, social justice and talk about racial injustice. And so that's going to be great. And then we're also going to have an opportunity to wear patches, and so that'll be good as well. I have talked to our guys about kneeling, and for me, it was more of individual choice. So collectively, we really haven't settled on anything, but I think for me, I just want to encourage each and every man to make their own decision.
I don't remember your specific comments at the time when Bruce Maxwell kneeled a few years ago, but I seem to recall you were not happy about doing it during the anthem. obviously referencing your father's military career. Has your opinion changed in the last couple of years?
Yeah, it has. And I think that, I'm always trying to evolve and learn and be educated. And I've realized that, standing at attention, it's not mutually exclusive to your thoughts on social justice and police brutality and things that Colin Kaepernick, Maxie, what he felt. And as I've learned, I just believe that, you're not trying to disrespect the soldiers, men and women that serve our country and that lay their lives on the line every single day. My father included. So, I have evolved and changed.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from JP Hornstra. Go ahead, JP.
Hey, Dave, just to clarify on Kershaw, you mentioned earlier that you mentioned to Dustin yesterday that it was a possibility. And I'm just wondering, was Clayton still trying to make this start? Was he still lobbying to make this start yesterday?
Well, we were trying to, go as long as we could to see how he would fare, and there's obviously a point where we have to make a decision. But I just we all felt that, after he responded with treatment on Tuesday and then yesterday came in a little bit better, we'll just see how far we can go. But today it just didn't get that as much improvement as we felt needed for him to make that start.
A separate topic, about an hour and a half ago, we found out that there were going to be a lot more playoff teams this year. And I'm wondering how you feel about the playoff field expanding to 16 and just the timing of it. How much of a shock was that?
I haven't, I don't even really, I heard that, but I really don't know how it affects, I just don't know how the format really is going to play out. JP, I got to look into that. The timing, it is what it is. I just think that, getting us on the field was most important. And so this was one of the last things that they kind of wanted to finish that off. And that doesn't affect us now until the postseason. So I'll look more at it down the road, but whatever the format, you got to kind of abide.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
Next question from Ken Giernick. Go ahead, Ken.
Dave, it seemed like Mookie Betts was the leadoff hitter in all the games we've seen, and except tonight. Can you explain the lineup there at the top?
Yeah, I think that, with the way that, the Giants or any other team potentially could try to deploy relievers to get matchups, kind of staggering the left and right throughout the lineup, I think protects us and poses, some more challenges and doesn't give other teams the runway. So talk to the guys. They're obviously they're fine with it. So I think it's the best thing for us going forward.
Question from Kyle Glazier. Go ahead, Kyle.
Hey, Dave, what role do you envision using Brusdar Graterol in this year in terms of high leverage or low leverage relief? How do you plan on deploying him?
I think with Brusdar, he's not a finished product. There's a lot of talent in there. He's got a good head. He's confident, doesn't run from situations. But I think that there's a softer landing in there, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Thank you.
Another question from Alana Rizzo. Go ahead, Alana.
Dave, you had said that staggering the left and right-handers at the top of the lineup moving forward, is that for this series or is that further along in this season?
Well, for the foreseeable future, I think that's what we're going to do. But I'm not going to hold myself to, obviously one set lineup indefinitely. But I think that, for the foreseeable future, we'll see how it plays out.
And finally, from me, Dave, did you have a conversation yet with Dustin May? I know that he's a very capable young man, but I would imagine a rookie on opening day in place of Kershaw is going to give you some jitters. Do you have a convo with him about it?
I talked to him yesterday. He was in a good place. I haven't talked to him today. Mark Pryor has done a flyby. So I'm going to stay away from him until I see him in the dugout.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Another question from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, do you expect teams, you mentioned the relievers, do you expect teams to just start employing, maybe deploying openers just super aggressively this year?
Yeah, I do. I do. And I think that, I think anything's on the table. You've seen that more in recent years. So I do think that's certainly more of an option. So again, just kind of staggering the lineup, guards against that a little bit more.
And I know you guys are not going to be probably not using openers, or at least planning to.
Hey, never know.
You never know. All right, that's fair. But do you expect to use your relievers a little more aggressively? Maybe use guys who in the past you wouldn't have thrown in the fifth inning with the bases loaded and one out, high leverage situations?
I think so. Yeah. And especially now where workload is not as you're not exposing yourself because you have more guys in the pen. So yeah, I could see that.
And just one more. You mentioned cycling through the DH, but do you anticipate those starts kind of going mostly to Peterson and Pollock?
I think AJ, I think Jock, I can see JT at times, and potentially Muncy. So those four guys I could see doing it. Maybe once or twice you might see Mookie or Cody in that spot.
One final question from Jim Alexander. Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Doc. Procedural question first. Is there still a 10-day injured list?
There is. So as I understand it, Jim, we're going to backdate, and I'm not particularly sure when Clayton will be available, but I think it's in that Arizona series.
Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. When this happens sort of as suddenly as it did, and you had a couple days to deal with it, but is it something that maybe you feel you need to address to the other players in the clubhouse and just kind of remind them that, hey, you have to be flexible anyway. This is another situation where you kind of have to adjust and be ready emotionally?
No, it's not. I think with some other clubs that might be needed, but with our guys, we understand that no one's bigger than the team, and things are going to happen. You've got to be nimble. You've got to adjust. So that doesn't change, our mindset about winning a game today.
Of course, you could throw a little history at him too, because the last rookie to start an opening day, Fernando, under similar circumstances in '81, that turned out pretty well.
Hey, I like that. I don't mind revisiting '81. That's fantastic. Good footnote.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you.